Hey, you can now put people in timeout for different ranging from 10 seconds to 24 hours. Oh, isn't that nice? I don't put people in timeout I guess I never have. Welcome, everybody. You can skip morning, Waylon. You can skip ahead if you're watching this as a rerun. 1520. Scott Bulgy, good morning. How's things down that way? Sounds like it's windy outside here, but I haven't even looked into it. Karen. John Schreier should be at the station getting it on air. Have a great day. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate that. Morning, Wayne. All right. Well, what the heck's going on in the world of highway a little wet down that way, okay. All right. Finally got my calving facility is fully put up. Now I'm starting to work on my inside. But I got called to do 2 auctions today, so kind of people are getting COVID evidently. I thought that was thing gone past, but like in our area here just in the last couple of weeks, it's like everybody's in quarantine or something. I don't know. Dave, what the hell's going on in Minnesota side? All right, we got some Coyote tournaments this weekend. That one. So I get to do a tool sale here this morning, or not this afternoon, after I'm done feeding, and then run over to Marmouth and do another fundraiser. Evidently, Marmouth's Coyote tournament is this weekend. It's invite only, I think, and they don't invite me. But they invited me to go do the Calcutta. Well. Well, I don't know if this shit's working or not. I got a cold here a while back, but that's about it. Eric, good morning. I wonder if they ever let I got to check into these media passes for the NFR. I could sure spend 10 days down there going around and doing interviews and everything. So let's see. NFR. I doubt it. I'd probably have to get a job with like the Cowboy Channel or something in order to do that. Talk to Rick. I don't know. NFR media credentials. Ooh. All right. Okay. It does not guarantee approval, but the criteria includes your past coverage, being an assistant, number of followers on media, the media organization. Huh. Interesting. I don't know if I'd get approved for any of that stuff, man. Went to the Jackrabbit football game last night. It was an awesome game and a great birthday present because we got a win. Who did Jackrabbits play last night? And not only that, Who won the NDSU Montana game, or is that today? I can't even remember. Yeah, I seen that, Leighton Woodbury. I reached out to Leighton to see if he'd do like some radio and like him and Bergeron. None of them answered me back. Jessica Ratier is the only one that answered me back. So their mascot, and get this, their mascot is the Great Danes. Huh. Cool. You are the Upper Midwest Farm Director for Farm and Ranch Director for iHeart, and have a bunch of contests. I don't know if they'd. I don't know. I don't think the pro rodeo is gonna accept that. Yeah, I can cover a lot of contestants. There's no doubt about that. Even into the Montana side too. Morning, Jim. Yeah, have Charlie get on it. It's hard enough to get a room locked in at the Agri International. Finally watched last week's show last night. Couldn't watch it last week. I was hunting in and Randy Rody Coyote tournament. That's right. That's right. Randy Rody. I got a few other ones I got to make sure I announce here. Okay. All right. Where's Jessica's number? Should give her a couple more minutes. I'll give her a couple minutes. Don't want to get that excited here and have her on sitting around. She's probably busy. Well, large tool sale at Jace Ridey's shop today. Has not been advertised anywhere. Okay, so if you need something, if you remember the mechanic Randy Kramer, who used to work at Ford Garage, he was the transmission and rear end specialist. It'll be pretty much all of his tools and some other stuff. So there you go. 1 o'clock, Jace Ridey shop. And Dan, you can join me in Marmouth at 7 o'clock for auctioning an entire beef off for something or another. And then you might catch me in Amadon for another watch party. I don't think I'm going to make it from Marmouth up there in time, but we'll see. See how it goes. That's my day. That's a tough number.
Hello.
Morning, Jessica. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. Not like sunny Las Vegas, but it's been a pretty nice December compared to last year.
Oh my gosh, the whole fall and winter has been pretty nice up there.
We're on live on YouTube right now, so welcome to my YouTube friends and neighbors here listening in early. Before we got about 10 minutes before we start the radio side. I usually do a little pregame on YouTube before we get into a whole bunch of stuff. But how's Vegas treating you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I've been watching you. And South Dakota showed up with barrel races this year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yep.
Good deal. Got the whole family down there?
We did. Braden and Peyton flew home yesterday morning, but
Mm.
everyone else is still here, and they'd been here since the beginning, so they
Yeah.
were ready to get home and get rested up.
Where do you guys stay? Do you right in your trailer, or do you guys have a place?
Yep. So, since the first year we came, we met some people, and we stay at their place. We keep our horses at their place, and then we
Nice.
stay in our trailer. And they've got a little casita above their garage, and so it's just a one bedroom. But between that and the trailer,
Nice.
there's plenty of room for all of us.
Good deal.
So, yeah,
That's nice.
yeah.
As I say, that especially to be able to put horses someplace. Guy doesn't
Yeah,
realize that. It's
quiet, and
yeah,
they're just turned out in the arena here actually, so they don't have to be in stalls for 2 weeks, and
yeah,
it's really nice.
yeah. Well, we'll get into more of that when we start the radio side of things. How's everything at the ranch?
Good. The weather's been so nice. It's been pretty easy for our girl that we've got left there helping, so that's always nice too,
Yeah,
not having to worry about stuff breaking in the cold, and you know
yeah.
how all that goes. So,
Who's helping you out? Who's the girl helping you?
her name is Ella Sanders. She actually has worked for me for 3 years now.
Nice.
She's from Wisconsin, not far from where I grew up, which is kind of funny. There's a bunch of us that have seemed to move out from that same area, but um, she came out a few summers ago and did an internship, and then she went back and finished school, and then moved out and worked for us for like a year. And then I think her parents kind of convinced her to try to go home and get a real job, and she did, and she hated it, so she came back. So
What's
we're
how is not ranching a real job?
well, she probably could find one that pays a little better.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's always about the money. I hear you.
Yeah, but she's awesome, and
Yeah,
we're super glad to have her. And she keeps her horses at our house and stuff, and gets to rope in the summer and
yeah.
all that stuff. So,
Here's a question for you. You
yeah.
know Tim Olson out of Buffalo, right?
Hmm.
You remember his 70 by 100 little arena he had?
Yep, his hoop barn.
His hoop barn.
Yep.
He's wanting to get rid of that. I'm thinking about buying it
Okay.
because
Yeah, I rode in that a lot before we built our own barn.
did you?
Hmm.
Was it the nice size? Was it a good size to do that in?
Yeah, I mean it was great for exercising horses. I'd even set a couple barrels up in there. I mean, it was pretty small to do an actual
Yeah,
barrel pattern, but yeah, just for exercising and stuff. And Peyton would practice her trick riding in there a little bit, and definitely big enough just to keep horses exercised in the winter.
yeah, yeah. He bought a new top for it because the other one
Oh
must have
yeah.
got ripped or something. But
Yep.
trying to figure out where I could scratch the coin together to put that up. I just put one up here for calving.
Oh
Just
yeah.
finished it like 2 days ago, and 46 by 150.
Okay.
And but when you run across a deal like that, it's like, that would be nice to have an extra one to,
Yeah.
you know.
And he had some, I don't know how it would transfer, but he had like a couple, like four or six stalls maybe, and a tack room in the
Mhm.
end of it. And so if you took that part out, then that would have made the arena part even longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it was a decent
Might have to
decent size. You could do
might have
whatever
to
you need to
give
do
him
in
a
it.
call. He's always good. I
Yeah.
saw him a couple times, came back from the hills, and I stopped in and filled gas, and he was there, and I mean, I
Mhm.
bet you it was an hour and a half before we got done talking and BSing and telling jokes, and
Yep.
a good guy.
Yep. He is.
Miss those guys.
Yep.
Back when I was their instructor, but I think I learned more from those guys than they did from
Yeah.
me. That was a big crew, man. We had Plose
I bet.
and Doug Dahl and Tim Olson and Bill Clarkson and Tom Costello and big John Wayne Helms
Oh yeah.
and who else? Dirk Lermy and the Jurdy family and some big boys.
You had all of them.
Yeah, good times. You do any gambling when you're there?
No, but Riley does enough for both of us.
Does he? He enjoys that, huh?
Yeah, he does.
I'm not
I
a
don't mind it.
gambler. You know, I go down to Vegas. My sister lives down there, and we go down, and I'm not into the gambling side.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I hate losing money and throwing money away, and
And
like,
you're in ranching? What?
yes, and barrel racing.
And barrel
Pathetic,
racing.
but it's I don't know if it's like this here just during the rodeo, if it's all the time, but like the limits are so high, the minimums are so high to just play casually for fun. You can't even hardly do that because it costs too much money, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But and I don't really go out after the rodeo. We've got so much to do during the day, and it's kind of exhausting, and I prefer just to sleep at night. So
yeah, especially when you bring in horses down. I mean, it'd be different if you were a roughie, right? I mean, you might have to.
Yeah,
Seems like those guys have a lot more fun, or at least it portrays it as their interviews.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Which what we're doing is fun in itself, but
absolutely.
I did say that someday I hope we get to come back here a lot to run barrels, but someday I'm going to come not running barrels and then do a little bit more of the other fun stuff. But
I don't know. So my sister, I had a baby, and I'm the godfather, so I was going to go down there in January and visit my other niece. Her other daughter turned 21. Don't ask how that happens in Vegas, right?
Right.
But we were going to go down and celebrate the 21st birthday and see my goddaughter again here a little bit, but it's just so busy in January. Got bull sales and left and right and everything. But if you don't gamble, I like the people watch and everything, but I don't know. We'll go to a few shows. I went to one that was a really good show. It was out in a tent in front of Caesar's Palace.
Really?
Can't remember what it was called, but it was really good. There's some good stuff I guess I can go to, but Spendy.
Yeah, we went to the Michael Jackson show two Thursday nights ago when we were supposed to be having the first round of the rodeo, and they canceled it for that night. So we did actually go to something that night, but it was good. It was good, but expensive.
No. The mayor Mobridge says, I got married in Vegas. My wife cut the low card on that one.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so about a minute and a half here to showtime, Miss Rotier.
All right.
How's Peyton been?
She's good.
How old is she now? Is she a teenager?
She is 15.
Oh, good grief.
Yep. Okay. She's really into the breakaway roping now.
Good. She's still doing trick riding or not?
Nope.
No.
She kind of hung that up. Her friend from Canada that she trick rode with, it just drives her crazy, and she's still trick riding a lot. She tried to talk Peyton into doing Cheyenne with her this year, and that one was hard to say no to, but she hasn't done it in a couple of years now, and it's not like something you just jump back on and do. Yeah. Especially when she's a little bit different sized person than she was 2 years ago,
there's all kinds of factors involved in that, but we got 30 seconds here, Jessica, to showtime here, so stand by. I'm going to turn you down here. Going to go quiet for a second. Stations, 30 seconds to showtime. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Nearly 2 decades strong across the Dakota Territory and heard on great radio stations all across the Dakota Territory as well. KGFX out of Pierce, South Dakota. KOLY in Mobridge. K-Fire 550, the voice of the Northern Plains in Bismarck, Mandan. KCJB, Minot 910, and the Western Edge on KLTC. And good to have you along here all through the Dakota Territory. And also on the YouTube channel. Thanks for subscribing to that. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Good to have you along. Well, we do this I'm hoping that we get to do this for many, many years to come. Last year was my first year. This is the second annual Jessica Rotier update from Las Vegas from the NFR. Morning, Jessica. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Oh man, I tell you, I hope we can do this for many years to come
I
because,
hope so
yeah,
too.
South Dakota is very well recognized in the barrel racing this year. 3 out of the
Yeah.
15 contestants from South Dakota.
hmm
You guys get along, or you guys always at each other's
Yeah.
throats here?
No, we get along great, and everyone in the rodeo community and the barrel racing community does. But you kind of get a special bond when you're from the same state and you see each other all the time, and you've known each other for forever. And we've all done the whole rodeoing with kids thing, and so we're everyone. We help each other out as much as we can, and it's great to have a couple fellow South Dakotans here for sure.
Yeah, and they've been doing well. All of you guys
Yeah,
have been doing well, placing,
yeah.
last night, Lisa Lockhart was in the 2nd place, I believe,
hmm
but yeah, I forget the other gal's name.
Summer Coastal.
Kozel. She won one
Yep.
round, round 7
Yeah.
or 8, right?
I think it might have
Okay,
even been earlier than that, but
earlier,
it's
okay.
hard to keep track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, I mean, good stand-up from there. So, first and foremost, everybody that is not familiar with the rodeo world, and they're like, "Scott, usually you talk about shooting animals and deer hunting and coyote hunting," but I think when you think of an outdoors radio program, I think rodeo is one of those tight knit family things like the hunting community. It is
hmm
done outdoors, although the NFR is inside, but for the most part.
hmm
So give us a little breakdown of for those that don't know who you are, what you're doing in the NFR here, and how you got to be back into the NFR here again this year. Give us a little rundown of what you
Sure.
did this year.
So to make the NFR, you have to be in the top 15 in the world for total money won throughout the year. And to do that, you go to rodeos basically all over the country and just barrel race against. Yeah, I mean, you run against the top people. You run against everybody all year, and I swear every year it seems to get tougher and tougher. I mean, there's probably 40 girls out there that deserve to be here, and only 15 get to come. And so it's tough to get here, and once you do, it's tough when you get here too. But it's a really great experience, and
Yeah.
we're just super excited. This is our 6th year to get to come, so we're very
6
grateful
year,
for that.
yeah. Alright, so it's done on earnings.
Yep.
Now, just because of the earnings, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's how much money you have in the bank, right? I mean,
Right.
you people look at this and they're like, they saw that, your horse Missy made the
Mhm.
$1,000,000 club. Explain how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, when you rodeo, you pay for everything going down the road. I mean, we do have sponsors, and that's awesome, and they help out a little bit when they can. Most of them are product sponsors
Right.
that things that we use anyways, so it's awesome. A few of them do some cash sponsorships too, but I mean, it takes a lot of money to get down the road for fuel, and most of the roadies we pay entry fees at, and just food and everything else. And so, yeah, I did. I said when the day Missy hit $1 million, it's a really cool accomplishment. Not a lot of horses do that, but it'd be
Mhm.
really cool if I still had that $1 million. And I don't,
Yeah,
but it has allowed us to go all these years and pay a few bills along the way. So it's a pretty cool way to make a living. You get to see all parts of the country and just experience some really cool things.
yeah. Yeah, when people see the sponsors on your shirt and everything, like you said, they're product sponsors. They may, give you a couple bags of feed or some, whatever to go down the road with, but, when it comes to actually paying the fees and paying everything out of your pocket, it comes out of your pocket and the
hmm
and the winnings that you make along the way. Now, million
hmm
dollar horse, what does that mean? How did she make that?
So Missy is 12 years old. I've been running barrels on her since she was 5. So in 7 years, she has earned $1 million. Most of it has been rodeoing. There's a futurity world that's kind of separate from the rodeo world where they're aged events, and a lot of people will run horses at the futurities when they're 4 or 5 years old. They can't be older than 5. And so that's kind of how a lot of the rodeo horses get their start, is at the futurities. Kind of the unique thing about Missy is that I was pregnant for most of her 4 and 5 year old years because I
We're
had
gonna
twins.
blame Riley on that.
Yeah, I was had twins when she was 4, and then Charlie, our last child, when she was 5. And so she, probably didn't get a lot of the same preparation as a lot of young horses do leading up to her futurity year. And then I had Charlie the end of June, her futurity year. So that only left really like a couple months to take her to the futurities. But we went to a handful of them. She did awesome. I think she won around 20,000 in those handful of futurities we went to. And then the next year I thought, this would maybe be a horse I could rodeo on, because I had actually retired my rodeo horse before her, the year before I started futurity her, and kind of thought I'd be done going to the rodeos and just start, taking my kids to more rodeos and things like that. Well, then Missy came along, did well at futurities. Her first year of rodeoing, we won the Badlands Circuit, and that's really what set us up for the following year. Was the first year we made the NFR, and it was never something we ever set out to do. It was just this chain of events because Missy was so awesome that just kept happening and kind of forced us out into the world and made us go, because I was dragging my feet wanting to stay home with my kids and just not go, because I mean it's a big commitment. You're gone from home a lot, and your whole family has to be on board, and it takes a lot of help from a lot of people. And so yeah, I mean, I never would have made it to the NFR if it weren't for this horse that just had a mindset on winning.
So I got a message from Wayne. He says, Scott, ask Jessica, how many horses do you take to the NFR when you head down to Vegas?
I take 3. I think most people probably take 3. I've never run another horse here. I've always just run Missy, but I've taken at least one every year that I could run if she were to get tired or hurt or, something were to happen. And then I learned the first year. The first year I brought just one other horse, and that horse was my backup barrel horse and my grand entry horse, because you have to go in the grand entry every night. And Missy was so lonely for her friend every night when I went to do the grand entry that we ended up having to take her to like the warm-up tent right by the Thomas and Mack, and Riley would just hold her in there, because I mean normally I would just make a horse deal with it, you're fine, but it's such a long stressful 10 days anyways that I didn't want her throwing a fit at the trailer every night right before I had to start getting ready to run barrels on her. So ever since that first year I've brought 3 horses. And then funny story, this year I brought a different horse for the grand entry. The 2 horses I brought this year were different than any other year, and they're both good backup barrel horses. But when I worked them in practice the day before the rodeo started, the younger one, which is actually Missy's sister, she worked a lot better than the other one I brought. And so I decided I needed to save her in case I needed to get on something else. She would be the one that I got on. Because she's young, I didn't think it'd be in her best interest to go run around, a hot lap around the arena in the grand entry. And she was the one that I had originally planned on being in the grand entry.
Hold on to that thought, Jessica. We're up against a break. We're going to finish that story, and we got more questions coming in here from people. We'll have more with Jessica Rotier from the Vegas NFR right after these messages.
Agriculture is a community of hard work, passion, optimism for the future, and a commitment to the livestock and land. For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing. Our local lending team knows the industry and the challenges, from droughts to winter blizzards. Stop by one of our branches today in your work boots or cowboy boots. You're always welcome.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty would like to remind you about some written bid leases coming up. Monday, December 18th, 628 acres of pasture in Wells County, North Dakota. Also on Monday, written bid lease of 580 acres of crop grass and pasture in Hettinger County. And on Monday, January 8th, the written bid lease of 329 acres of cropland in Wells County. For more information and to submit your written bids, go to Pfeifers.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty would like to remind you about some written bid leases coming up. Monday, December 18th, 628 acres of pasture in Wells County, North Dakota. Also on Monday, written bid lease of 580 acres of crop grass and pasture in Hettinger County. And on Monday, January 8th, the written bid lease of 329 acres of cropland in Wells County. For more information and to submit your written bids, go to Pfeifers.com. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back to the Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Good to have you along here on a beautiful Saturday morning. The upper Midwest, Jessica Rotier, professional barrel racer in the NFR right now in Las Vegas. Jessica, where are you sitting at here on the average right now? What's your standings?
I'm sitting sixth in the average right
Sixth
now.
in the average right now.
Yep.
And I got to get back to your story before I cut you off here before the break here. So finish up your story. You got this backup horse. Go ahead.
Yeah, so long story short, the horse I ended up using for the grand entry was terrible. She was so bad. She wouldn't stand still. In her defense, we're right on the end, and so Levi Lord has the South Dakota flag. He's here in the team roping, and then there's 3 barrel racers that are supposed to sit between him and the girl with the flag, and there's like room for one horse. So we're so squished. All the horses are leaning on each other. They're being terrible. After round 3, I get a text from one of the powers that be and says, I'm kicked off my own horse. So
Really?
they have a horse. Yeah, so they have a horse, which some people do just borrow grand entry horses, like from stock contractors and stuff. So they kicked me off. They put me on a Barnes Pro Rodeo horse named Mojo. I actually love Mojo now. We've bonded this week, and I'm actually happy that they put me on him because he's fun. But then the next night, Lisa gets a text. She gets kicked off her grand entry horse. So all us South Dakota girls except Summer. Summer got to stay on hers, even though she had to exit the arena one night because hers was throwing a fit. But Team South Dakota did not shine very well the first few rounds of the grand entry.
So, see, a lot of people don't know this, that when you say the powers would be, the people that are hosting this year,
Yeah.
they can tell you if your horse is acting goofy or something like that. They can
Yep.
make that call.
They're out.
And and tell me if this is true or not. I thought I saw a TikTok video of somebody saying that when they were in the NFR barrel racing, and as you're coming down the hallway,
Hmm.
barrel racing horses, they get excited. They're wound up. They're ready to go and do this. And
Hmm.
her horse did not want to go or something, and she actually got kicked off of her barrel horse the next day. Is that true?
Yeah.
Can they actually do that too?
Yeah. So it would actually, I think the first year I was there, the horse right before me kept rearing up in the alleyway and was just, yeah, they can tell you to get off. I don't know what would happen if you told them that you're just not going to and you're going to still run the one that you're
Yeah.
on, but they really try to keep it, safe and because they don't, from a production standpoint, they don't want a
Yeah.
bunch of people seeing a bunch of horses acting up and stuff. So.
Well, okay, so you got to. So first and foremost, it's a very efficiently run rodeo,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's quick. I mean, things are
Mm.
done, boom, 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 and that's what I enjoy watching it on TV is because there's not a lot of sponsor breaks,
Right.
and I understand that. But anyway, it's very quickly run. But I'm guessing, just like any other thing, like even a coyote tournament, you're going to have the naysayers that say that rodeo's bad, all the Californians that outlawed rodeo out in that area,
Right.
they're looking at any reason possible to make sure
Yep.
that they make your life living hell out that way. Do you run across that or not?
I personally, I have not, and you kind of, you go places and they'll kind of warn you to look out for stuff like that. And thankfully, we've never run into it. But I know people that have. I know people that have had people throw stuff at them
Yeah.
when they're unloading their horses at a rodeo that are protesting, and so it's definitely out there.
Yeah. Something you can't get rid of here. It's too bad. Gene
Yep.
Mayor Mulbridge had 6 in the average. He says, if I'm reading the scores right, there's only a 1.5 seconds, 1.5 seconds from the top to the bottom. He says it's a tight competition, and it is. When
Mhm.
you watch this here, I mean, there's not a lot of time difference between you ladies, and
No.
every single night it seems like it just changes all the way through.
Yeah. Yep. It's a tight race. There are so I've tipped one barrel.
Yeah.
There's only a few of us that have tipped one barrel. There's actually 4 this year that have tipped no barrels going to the 10th round.
Yeah,
I
it
think
seems
that's
like there's more barrel
that's
tipping going
happening.
on this year than the previous years I've watched.
Yep.
Yeah.
So honestly, unless a person was to tip 2 barrels, which definitely can happen, but I don't think the average is going to change a whole lot tonight
No.
in the 10th round. So
Well, it's the last round. Are you ready to come back to Buffalo, South Dakota?
I am. We've had a lot of fun, but I do love being home, and I love the little bit more relaxed atmosphere in Buffalo, South Dakota.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and it's going to be Christmas, so
Yeah,
gotta
Christmas
love
time around the corner. So when we were on break, I asked you the question about the expensive barrel horses.
Yes.
Okay, you're one of the few. I don't know. Maybe everybody's comes from a ranching background. I'm not sure, but like
Mhm.
you use your horse, Missy, you use her maybe on the ranch here or there, and
Mhm.
yeah, I'm sure Lockhart does on hers and stuff. But
Mhm.
on the rest of the gal, are most of them from that ranching kind of community, or are there some that are just like a hobby farm or a hobby ranch? They got the 40 acres and all they do is practice barrel racing.
You get some of both. I mean, there's
Okay.
some that are from ranches. There's some that are from, like some that are from, that's all they do is train horses to be
Sure.
barrel horses and rope horses and things. And so that's, I feel like, a much more structured environment probably. But yeah, I mean, it takes all walks. There's some here that are rope horses too, which is awesome. And there's some that get ranched on, rode outside a lot. There's some that are pretty much just used to being inside an arena. So it takes all kinds.
Yeah. What's the most expensive barrel horse sitting in that arena when all of you ladies would bring them in? What's the most expensive, would you say?
I don't even know. I mean, so like sister, Haley Kinsel's sister, she has won. Missy just hit the $1 million mark. Sister has won over 2 million,
Yeah.
maybe even close to 3. I don't know. So she's she's definitely won the most dollar-wise of any of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure people are looking at those horses in the barrel racing community going, I would like to have maybe an embryo transplant on one of them.
Yep.
Are you ever offered any of that? And yeah, I suppose that's a whole nother game when you're talking about
Yeah.
AI.
Yep. I mean, people want them for sure. I actually have several embryos out of Missy, several babies on the ground. Her oldest is 5, and that's one of the awesome things about it. I don't own her, but her owner has,
Oh.
basically treated her as mine throughout all these years, and we've got a great partnership working together. I ride a lot of his horses, and he's been very gracious with letting me get embryos out of her that I do own. And then he has gotten some out of her that he owns that I will eventually ride also. So it's
That's
pretty
cool.
good.
That's
Pretty good deal for
awesome.
me. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, I know your family's down there supporting you. Said a couple of them had headed back, but balancing 5 kids. Well, let's say
Yep.
6 with Riley.
Yep.
How is that when you're down there? I mean, you have a long day. Give us kind of when you're waking up this morning after you get off the phone with me here. What's your day prepping to tonight's final?
So I get up early and I usually get about an hour with my horses. Honestly, once the rodeo starts, I don't do a whole lot of taking care of my kids. We bring Jada Maher out here with us, and she is amazing. And she makes sure the little girls get their schoolwork done and make sure they're dressed cute for the rodeo. Because if it weren't for her, they'd probably be in their PJs every night. So she takes care of my kids. I get to see them, but I don't get a lot of time to do much with them. So I get about an hour in the morning, and then it's gone. I mean, we've got, like autograph signings and luncheons and different obligations that they like us to be at, which is great. A lot of them are for our sponsors, and our sponsors support us all through the year. So the least we can do is sit at their booth for an hour and sign autographs and meet people that have come out to see you. It takes time, but it's fun too. And so we do that. I try to be back to my horses by 2:30 in the afternoon, and then I do what I need to do with them, and we leave at 4 every night to go to the rodeo. And the grand entry starts at 5:45, and we're usually back by 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And then just feed horses, take care of them, and go to bed.
Yeah, well, it's a full day. I mean, there's no doubt about it because
driving really fast.
Because when somebody says, I'm going to I'm going to just drive to Buffalo real quick and grab a couple parts. I bet you can drive from your ranch to Buffalo faster than you can make it 3 blocks in Las Vegas sometimes. Yeah,
definitely. Yep.
So, well, Jessica, we're all behind you and the rest of the South Dakota gals and all the competitors from the Dakota Territory down there. We appreciate everything. And thank you again for coming on the program. Made my day.
Problem. Thank you, guys.
You bet. Thank you so much. Jessica Rotier, sitting number 6 in the average on the final. You see her tonight, and you can check that out on the Cowboy Channel. More coming up your way here. Second half of the program is going to be including my buddy John. We're going to be talking about coyotes and livestock. And the coyote population this year has definitely expanded. Something a little bit more than a lot of people probably anticipated it because of the prices of fur, but that shouldn't stop you from hunting them. We'll have more coming up in the second half right after these messages.
Agriculture is a community of hard work, passion, optimism for the future, and a commitment to the livestock and land. For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing. Our local lending team knows the industry and the challenges, from droughts to winter blizzards. Stop by one of our branches today in your work boots or cowboy boots. You're always welcome.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Piper's Auction and Realty would like to remind you about some written bid leases coming up. Monday, December 18th, 628 acres of pasture in Wells County, North Dakota. Also on Monday, written bid lease of 580 acres of crop grass and pasture in Hettinger County. And on Monday, January 8th, the written bid lease of 329 acres of cropland in Wells County. For more information and to submit your written bids, go to pifers.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty would like to remind you about some written bid leases coming up. Monday, December 18th, 628 acres of pasture in Wells County, North Dakota. Also on Monday, written bid lease of 580 acres of crop grass and pasture in Hettinger County. And on Monday, January 8th, the written bid lease of 329 acres of cropland in Wells County. For more information and to submit your written bids, go to Pfeifers.com. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
On that road, don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition on all of your favorite radio stations. Good to have you along here this morning. Well, we got through the NFR. We should be in Vegas. We're going to head to the man, the myth, the legend, the South Dakota, North Dakota border rancher, John Paul Chesky. Good morning. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning,
All right.
Scott. We're doing great.
Next year, we should go to the NFR.
We shall.
You think
We shall.
Tessa and Dixie would do the chores while we're down there for 10 days?
You bet.
Or-
I don't think it'd be a problem at all. Not a problem at all.
Not at all. No, not at all. Well, tournaments going on this weekend. 8th annual predator hunt for the Esmond Rural Fire Departments this weekend. Keene Fire Department is having theirs. And then January, we're going to have the one in Rame. So tournaments all around them. I guess Marmouth is going on this weekend here. What else is going on? Maybe Buffalo. We don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few starting to kick off, but this weather is not conducive for calling coyotes unless you just like to try and call. But I was out a few times this week and we weren't getting any movement or nothing. It's just too warm and too nice, and
They're not hungry.
they are not hungry.
Yeah. So the population of coyotes, it sure seems like everybody you talk to, they say, oh, my God, the coyotes had a good year this year. And are you seeing the same thing down in your neck of the woods too?
Yeah, I don't. This coyote population is just going to keep progressively getting higher with no absolutely zero fur market, and
Yeah.
and there's just a lot less people out there hunting coyotes because it's just people get busy and gas gets expensive and ammunition gets tighter to find. And
Yeah.
more for us to chase, I guess, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, you know, when it comes to the livestock side of it, it'd be nice to have a few more options. And one of that is thermal, although they don't let you use it when you're calving, but the different rules between the states. I wish it was just like, you know, just like the coyote season. It's open year round. We should be able to use thermal year round. What's your feeling on that? I mean, as a producer, you got sheep down there too, and I'm sure the coyotes create a little havoc with those.
Yeah, it was a tough year for livestock loss due to predators this year. There's no doubt about that. But as long as you're taking care of coyotes around your own property, I don't think there should be any restrictions any time of year on how you can kill them.
Yeah, including including if I want to get a chopper. I want to get a chopper, John.
Well, I don't know why you haven't bought one yet. I don't know what's holding you back. I mean, if Dixie wants a good Christmas present, there it is.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure she'd enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's holding me back is fear and common sense. That's what's holding me back.
We've been lacking that for a long time, Scott. That's really not an excuse.
Oh man, so you and your wife do this. It seems like when it comes to coyote season, you guys do some. What do you call it? Coyote date morning, date night, or whatever. What do you call that?
Oh, we just call it marriage therapy. We'll get out and marriage therapy. We'll get out and walk together and do some sets together. And right now, we got my brother-in-law moved back here. He's going to help us out around the ranch for the first year here and see how that goes. But
sure.
Him and I went out. Oh, must have been Tuesday or Wednesday. I sent you that snap, and we probably put 2 miles on, and it was just right north of my house. And there was a coyote just west of my house, and he wouldn't come in. So I texted my wife and said, "Grab your gun and go sit on a bale and shoot that dang thing."
Yeah.
And she got it done. So
nice.
Lance and I did all the work, and she just got to walk 200 yards from the house and shoot the coyote.
Well, that's how it should be.
Right.
That's how it should be. Yeah. You set it up for. Well, you guys have that nice perch on your house. You're on the top level. You can reach out a long ways from there.
Our house will not flood. Correct. We are not in the floodplain.
Message comes in, says we've not had mange show up in a while in the areas here, and it runs in cycles. With the coyote numbers as high as they are we due for an outbreak in mange? I guess I haven't seen any of the coyotes up in my neck of the area here with any mange for a long time. I mean, I haven't seen it for a long time.
It's out there. It's never, that mange will never go away.
Yeah.
But I think we did see one look like had a black tail, so that means there's no fur left on the tail here east of my place. So sounds like it's moving back around here anyway. So
yeah. So what are you doing, coyotes? Are you selling them? Are you trying to keep them and skin them like we used to do, green skin them, or are you just leaving them lay?
We just left that one lay. I had to do the 2 mile walk back to pick up, so I actually never had a close picture of that one, but I guess it was kind of a pup. But
yeah,
if I get a really nice white one, I think I'll probably skin it out, maybe getting it tanned and for a little house decor.
Yeah. And a little house decor, something cheap.
But if anybody's willing to pay us to skin them out or just to shoot their coyotes, if you guys want to pay us, we'll come shoot your coyotes and for $50, not a problem.
$50 in a bottle. How about that?
$50 in a bottle. That sounds like a heck of a deal.
That's right. So what are what's the round of choice here that you're using? Still the 243?
Yep, I'm still using the 243, and old Precious, she shoots the 22-250, and I think he's shooting the 6mm right now. So
okay. Now it's an argument when you're saying, well, if you're going to keep them for the fur and you're shooting them, you're supposed to use a smaller caliber so you don't blow up the fur as much. I guess
it all depends where that bullet hits.
What's that?
It all depends where the bullet hits. I've blown a coyote up with my 243, and I've shot a lot of coyotes where there's zero damage at all. So it all depends where that bullet goes in and if it comes out and if it hit a bone or not. And
yeah, I got many people that I got yelled at because I was using a 6.5 And I'm like, well, then don't buy the fur. Right.
Right.
I mean, that's all there is to it. It's their choice whether to do it or not. Now, do you get into the trapping and snaring side of it?
I have not. No, we're usually kind of busy chasing kids in sports now, and between that and chores, that kind of fills up the day pretty fast for any extracurricular activities besides just getting to sneak out and call a few times.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get you up this way too a little bit. We should, it'd be nice to do like a virtual coyote tournament. And I don't know how you to do this. Everybody's worried about cheating and all that, but being able to drive some of these tournaments. I missed the Sturgis one. I missed going down to that one. I missed, but it'd be nice to have a way to do it virtually without people thinking that they had to cheat.
Yeah.
And wouldn't that be kind of a nice one? Being able to get all of us together in the area, and instead of having to meet at a certain one place, we can just take pictures and send it in and give prizes away that way.
Well, I'd like to maybe do a township tournament, focus all the hunters on just a specific area.
That would
if
be
you want to try and pin out coyotes, just let's put 20 guys in the same township and let's get after them a little bit.
That is a good idea. And I have a township I know where we can do that at.
Well, it's my idea. So my township's first, and then because we got to get in shape if we're going to hunt up there in the Badlands. I mean, down this gentle rolling hills here, it's not bad, but we can't just throw a bunch of these out of shape hunters into that train that you got up there. I mean, that's just asking for a heart attack.
Maybe we should do like a series, like a best of 3 series, like your township, the township up here, and maybe
Harding County, right across the state line.
Yeah, Harding County Township, and we'll go all that. I got a couple of questions. Gene says, have you guys ever used shotguns?
Yes, there's certain situations I wish I had shotguns, but anymore I quit packing 2 rifles in. That's just, I don't know if you want to call it lazy or common sense, or just one rifle's enough to pack in.
Yeah, and I think it depends on where you're hunting too. I think, in the early part of the season when you're getting them to come in a little bit closer right away, shotguns are okay. And I think, in my area, like you said, in this tougher terrain, you can call a coyote in and he'll come into one of the canyons on the edge, but he's not going to come another 800-900 yards in. That's too much work for him.
Yeah, the up and down terrain, they're just not going to.
Yeah,
that ain't going to make that effort. But
yeah, another one. I've shot 3 coyotes with a 6.5 Creed and Hornady 129 SSTs. Not one time did that bullet exit the coyote. Really? Okay, that's exact what I shoot too. And with 129 SSTs, and I have had them go through before.
Yeah, well, when that guy does finally hit a bone, he's gonna have a hole.
Yeah, that's old Jamie. That's Jamie.
Oh, Jamie 308 Breck.
Well, not so much anymore. See,
it's good to see guys like that grow up and get off that 308 kick, isn't it?
Well, at least try other things maybe here. Eric says the township idea is kind of cool idea if we can get enough landowners to go along with it. So,
I don't think that'd be a problem in my little country down here.
Yeah. So you got to remember, some of the places around here, there are ranchers that own an entire township.
Brag. We know Scott.
No, I'm not bragging them. I'm talking about my neighbors.
Oh yeah.
Neighbors have
across
all
the
that
pond there. Across the pond, right?
Across the pond have many of the townships. So that's a good idea. I think we got to do that. Let's have a little series.
Well, we'll think on it. We're open to suggestions. They know how to get a hold of you and me. So
yeah.
I don't know. We're always up for sponsorship too. If anybody wants to help sponsor something,
maybe we should do like Jessica does. Have like product sponsors. Like
kidding, right?
Like Hornady, send us all the ammunition for this one tournament, and we'll divvy it out between all the hunters, so everybody's using the same ammunition, so they can't sit and say, "Well, this person had an advantage over this person," right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of Jessica, her and Lisa got to have good runs tonight, because I may have picked both my Calcutta teams based on bale racers.
That's right.
I got them both. Yeah, I got Jessica and Lisa, so they need to just make a good solid run and hang in that average so I can get some money back on my donation.
I wish you would have called in when she was on and said, "Okay, Jessica, we have an issue." So I bought you into Calcutta. You and Lisa got.
I want you to be a winner, so darn it, girl, you better win.
Yeah, we need you in the average badly right now here.
Right. Yeah.
Well, are you getting the Calcutta thing? That's one thing that in our area, I don't know if a lot of other people do it, but almost every coyote tournament you go to, they do this. And it's always a fundraiser for whether it's an ambulance or fire department,
fire halls,
or something that's going on, right? You don't ever see any of these tournaments anymore that are just, well, like, okay, the Miles City AAU wrestling tournament, our wrestling club, they do a tournament here, their 18th annual one, and that money goes to the wrestling club, and I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that they're doing this now. Like I said a couple weeks ago, I don't know, I was talking to the rumors out there, John, that like fishing tournaments, some states are going to start making people that host coyote tournaments go through a whole bunch of red tape to do it. And some of the states are already doing it, like California, Arizona, they even outlawed it. You can't even do a tournament anymore. But
is California even in the United States anymore?
Unfortunately,
they even qualify?
So people tell me that the northern part of California is okay. They say
no, it's just like Minnesota, you know, if you get away from the Twin Cities.
Exactly. If you get out of the cities, you know, so but that's what runs the whole thing. But anyway, you get these state agencies are looking at maybe putting a few more regulations on these tournaments. What's your take?
Well, that's fine.
We're going to see it.
They can try and regulate them, but how are they going to enforce it?
I'm sure. You know, I mean, you see that even during tournaments, they'll be flying with thermals. You see that.
Yeah.
You can hear them.
I'd like to see them fly today in this fog and try and see anything.
Well, it depends on the day you're hosting it, I guess, here. But
yeah,
hopefully everybody does it the right way here.
What you cut any mountain lion tracks yet this year up here? Or
I did when
we finally get that done. Finally get one of those buggers killed.
I wish. Well, I wish and I don't wish. I don't really want to see them around my cattle, but they love my winter pasture right now. When we had that 14 inches of snow here in October, yes, I did cut mountain lion tracks.
Well, thanks for the call. You know, appreciate it.
Yeah, but how are you going to get on them? I mean, holy cow!
Just let John do John things.
Okay, but the season was closed by that time. You got to remember the
season's closed already.
At that time, the season was closed on. Okay,
wasn't open. That's what you're saying.
Well, the late season, contingent season, where I'm at, was not open. Now it is. Okay, and now speaking of that, South Dakota mountain lion season opens up December 26th. So, yeah,
day after Christmas,
South Dakota one. So, and but yeah, we got mountain lions. I heard they got one up by Galva.
Well, that's only a hop, skip, and a jump from your house.
Well, there was one spotted by some hunters down in my lease place. So, yeah, so all kinds of. We got them. We just have to get them. It's got to be snowy though, because you're not going to track them and find them when it's in the we got to have snow on the ground.
Oh, the double-edged sword, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's been a nice December. You know, a lot of people say we're going to pay for it later, but I say we paid forward for it last winter.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if fog days are true, Christmas is going to be interesting here. Text comes from Minnesota. It says there was one real good coyote tournament. Me and my neighbor were going to do it. It was called the South Metro Coyote Hunt 5 years ago. The Star Tribune ran a thing on it. They got so much harassment about it from the city folks that they canceled it and they don't have it anymore.
Keyboard warriors, huh? You know what? It wasn't face-to-face harassment.
Yeah. Well, some of those guys are goofy. They will go face-to-face on you.
Oh, geez, I'd like to see that happen to you and I one time.
Well, then Dixie and Tess would have to feed cattle for their 6 to 9
for months. A week or two, huh? Well, brothers like this, they'll be okay. They'll figure it out.
All right. Deer season, how did it go down in your area? Because we had nothing. Everybody that came up deer hunting this year, they were like, you guys don't have nothing for deer up here. I'm like, I could have told you and saved you time, but nobody wants to listen to that. But yeah.
No, we had a lot of deer. It's just we had a lot of row crop, so
yeah,
there wasn't a whole lot of bucks taken. So we'll get another year growth on some of these deer that needed at least another year or two. So it's pretty exciting to see what next year can produce, because I know I've seen a lot of nice bucks after season after the row crops are off.
Yeah. Well, I still have my archery tag, and you have those fancy blinds. Maybe I could sneak down there and have a little fun.
Yeah, I think the last neighbor finally finished cutting their last 100 acres. So yesterday there was deer everywhere.
Really? Good deal. It's nice to see, because you had EHD about 5-6 years ago that decimated a lot of yours.
No, we didn't right here on the river. You get 2 miles off the river, but this is the first, that big die-off 3-4 years ago. I think our herd is immune to that disease at this point.
Yeah, I think there's immunity to it. Jamie says he's going to go call some coyotes tomorrow morning here. What should you recommend? I know you're a hand call guy. What's your what's your sequence of calling when you go
like out? Right now, I'd have real trouble trying to do any rodent distress. You're just going to have to use coyote sounds, and because I don't think they're going to come into distress rabbit, distress fawn. They are just not going to be hungry at all.
Yeah. And I'm an e-caller guy, Jamie. So when I go out there, what I've been using is Magpie. And I've been pretty successful with that. I start a lot with just bird sounds is what I use.
Yeah, well, you got birds up there.
We got lots.
I don't have trees.
Isn't that crazy? How go down to your neck of the woods and up here, like if you see a magpie, you're gonna hold on to that spot because there's something out there. And so we read the birds up here, and in your area, well, you can see them coming from a longer ways, I suppose.
Right. Yeah. Right. It might be just one of those years. It might be more of a spot and stock scenario until this weather does change for us.
Yeah. Well, don't say it too loud because it won't take much for the weather to change.
You know what? I need one more good week, and I think I'm finally ready for winter. So, and the forecast looks like it's going to hold out for us.
Yeah. Well, good enough. I might have you come up here and share a little ideas on how to put panels up inside of a calving barn.
I think I can put that in the schedule. Correct. Yep.
Well, I tell you what, Coyote tournaments around the corner. We got Marmarth going on here today. We got a couple other ones around the state here in North and South Dakota. Last weekend, where's the text? The guy said he was out on the last one, the Randy Rohde one. So there's a lot of listeners out there, man. Maybe there's more coyote hunters than we think. Just maybe not in this area.
You're kind of a big deal, Scott.
Oh no, you're talking about Scott Bolge. That's the guy that's a big deal.
Well, yeah, Mr. Birthday Bolge yesterday.
Was it? Well, see, him and I are probably out of us three. I guarantee him and I are the two bigger Jackrabbit fans than you would be.
What's a Jackrabbit?
Prediction for was it Fresco? What's your prediction?
Well, we got it tough because my wife and her family they grew up in Missoula, so with the Grizz and Bison play today, so it's gonna be a tense day for a few hours around here. It's gonna be tense.
What's your prediction for the championship?
Go Bison.
Bison against Jackrabbits again?
Jackrabbits won last night, so they're in already.
They did. Okay, good enough. Yep. See, this is how much I pay attention to sports.
Yeah. Well, if you'd followed Dolge a little quicker, he had a lot of stuff. He was at the game yesterday, so.
Yeah,
he don't like to work, so he gets to travel a lot. You know.
He just responded to this, and he says, "Hey now."
Yeah. Hey now. What's he gonna do? Drive up here and scold us?
I don't know. I'm taking bets right now. Whoever gets in against the Jackrabbits, I'm going for the Rabbits, man.
They should. I mean, they've won 28 games straight in the last two seasons. They are defending champions. They are rated number 1 overall. So if they get beat, it's going to be an upset.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a good game. We should go down to one of those too. See, we could go from Vegas right down to that. We need somebody to feed cows for a month here, John. Appreciate you coming on the program. Stay for the after show because I'm sure Scott will have something to say as he calls in. We'll give him the number.
Sounds good.
All right. That's John Paul Chesky. And thanks to Jessica Ratier for coming on earlier. Appreciate that very much. And if you want to stay on a little bit on the after hour show, feel free to do that. Eat some meat, drink some milk, wear fur and wool. Have yourself a great week and enjoy the win. All right, stations. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. We'll sign off on the stations here. Jim says, go Jacks.
Jim who?
Jim Albers.
Oh.
I'm thinking we got more Jackrabbit fans listening, watching on the YouTube here than we do Bison fans.
I suppose you've got that big South Dakota listening crowd. So
yeah, they're pretty good. Pretty good crowd down that way. So, yeah, I had to wear my SDSU jersey the other day down in for Thanksgiving in Deadwood, and I had my jacket on, and I'm sitting in that Madam Peacock's having a beer. Possibly the best business idea I've ever seen in my life is to put a bar in a woman's clothing store in the middle.
That's handy.
I mean, honestly, it's the best thing ever. And these guys were talking about bison this, bison. So I had to take my jacket off, and I took my jacket off, and I just sat there, and they're like, "Oh, we owe him a beer. So got a free beer off of just taking that up. Tim Nace says, go Bison.
There we go. Got one.
Bolgy says, I'm laughing hard. You guys are just fine. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, what's your plan today?
Oh, big day. Got to finish up chores quick and then head to South Art for junior high girls basketball tournament and then back to Bowman for the high school boys game.
Jeez.
And then we got the NFR tonight and the football game in between there and all and above.
Holy cow.
And then tomorrow we got Church Grove program, and I think I'm going to haul some opens to town and then switch my trailer back, and we got about 3 loads left to pick up that corn pile, and then on to finish up the 4 or 5 days of hauling hay, then we'll be set.
Do you lose a lot of corn when you put it on the ground like that? There's a lot of waste.
Not this year, no, because I mean we've had it on the ground 2 weeks, and we haven't had. I mean, if I lose 10 bushels, I'd be surprised.
Really? Wow.
Because the ground's cold and hard, and we can get most of it picked up. And
yeah.
But if it's wetty and sloppy and muddy, I mean, there'd probably be more waste. But
yeah.
I mean, if I lost 1%, that's not even close.
Wow.
Maybe 0.01% we'll lose. I don't know. We're getting it all. So
nice. Good deal.
Yeah.
Sweep the ground. Well, I suppose I'm going to go feed the old fancy cows out here and get some audio equipment. I got to go take all audio with and set up. So
yeah, when will those fancy ones start calving?
April.
Okay.
Yeah. April 1st.
You gonna keep those kind of under surveillance?
I am. I'm going to keep them and not castrate any of the bull calves.
Right. I just wonder if you're going to turn them out the calving pasture, or you're going to
No.
calve them around the barn.
I have them in with my heifers right now. I got my heifers in my AI pasture, and they're on full feed right now. I just didn't want my expensive ones that I paid premium for to go out in the pine trees.
Right.
So I'm keeping them a little bit closer and have them on feed. Got all
So
the old
if
cows
start coming up like last year, you'll have to just get them out of that dang pasture.
Yep. Yeah. Scott says the game is on ESPN 2, 3:30.
Yep. Yep. And
Or it's
sweet
ESPN.
Scranton boys play at 4:30. So
Well, there you go. Coach
Prime 2.0.
Coach Polcheski.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, man. You have yourself a good day. I'll send you updates if you need tools. Let me know. There's supposed to be a shit ton today.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Have a good one.
You bet. Bye.
You bet. Bye. All right. Hey, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in here today. Appreciate you. Let's see. I got to look at my schedule. I don't even know when Christmas is besides the 25th. Oh, it's on a Monday. So I'll have a show. I'll have a show next week. Absolutely. And yeah. Yep. So stations, if you're still listening, should be able to have shows all the way through this year since there's no holidays on the weekends. So have yourself a good one, YouTube. Ears up.